Hello, welcome. My name is Nathan Railla, and this is the introduction to the St. Johnsbury Academy's self-care program put on by the wellness team at the Academy. And I'm very excited to have you all here and to begin this process of really strengthening. So this program is focused on how do we take care of ourselves in these times of unpredictability, instability, where we might not quite know what is going to come next. What are we going to do next? And so a lot of the time when we face these challenges in our lives, and sometimes it could be very personal, but right now it happens to be societal, we can feel overwhelmed. And that emotional reaction is actually a healthy reaction, and it's quite appropriate. But how do we not kind of fall into the obstacle of being too overwhelmed to function and too overwhelmed to really take care of ourselves or know what we even really need? So this program is really to be a support for you as students, as well as faculty and staff, to address and prioritize really how we take care of ourselves. Naturally, what can extend from that once we feel confident about how to handle our own emotional process with these challenging times is we can extend that out. So this program is well supported by the wellness team. We have fantastic nurses to address some of the physiological pieces to how to take care of ourselves. And then also we have a few counselors that are well trained to address the psychological side of things. So in this program, we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to emphasize first-person learning here. And what that means is that we are really interested in investigating and inquiring about our own process. So instead of looking at things as or even psychology as this outward thing that we're going to understand and then we're going to decide what we want to try and incorporate into our life, we're going to kind of just jump right into looking at our own emotional and thought processes. So we're going to be using meditation as a way to incorporate some of that self-reflection that really allows us to know ourselves, to become more familiar and in a way more friendly towards our own feelings, thoughts, and even some of the things that we might not even notice we have, such as habits that aren't really serving us, but they tend to kind of sneak up. You know, one of those things could be, I know it's the case for me, is watching YouTube videos late at night. You know, we know it's not exactly what we want to be doing with our time, but we find ourselves doing it. It can also be something as simple as we always tend to find, you know, that person in our life that just drives us nuts. And how can we address that? You know, where really having harmonious relationships is very critical right now, and it's the last thing we need to have, you know, fighting at home and whatnot. So self-care also includes others, and we're going to be using Maslow's hierarchy of needs to address our own needs, and then we can, by extension, acknowledge and honor others' needs as well. And that tends to lead to a lot more cohesiveness in relationships when we can know what we need and ask for it. So just to go over those hierarchy of needs, which you'll have some classes on the subject is we'll look at safety. We'll look at our physiological needs, looking at the hygiene that, right now is really important in terms of taking care of ourselves and taking care of others. Also looking at, if we have enough resources so that we can be healthy and happy. And this is also a place that you can share your challenges. Especially, we are very interested in knowing if you're having any challenges around having shelter, food, water, enough warm clothes. So we really want to be a resource for the community here. And then looking at our relational needs, looking at our needs to feel part of the community and feel like we're actually helping things progress towards going back to normal. So they've actually done studies where they've shown that people who do well through very difficult times and crises are the ones that first they take care of themselves, but then they're able to find a way to give back, find a way to support others through the crises. So as hilltoppers, I think we can all aspire to be, helpful to the situation. But first we have to make sure we're taken care of. So there will be discussion groups. There will be some meditation classes. We will look at kind of up-to-date perspectives on mental health and how we can take care of ourselves. And it's really fantastic that we're getting to do this as a community, because we can start doing that personal contemplation that allows us to deepen and really understand what are my priorities in life. And especially if we're not sure what those are, we can start asking and discovering what they are. And so that will lead us and help us into a life, well after the crises, and really serve us and allow us to be resilient. It's a good opportunity to get to know ourselves and to learn how to be strong through a time that is very uncertain. So I look forward to meeting you in the discussion groups and hopefully eventually in person. And I hope you all are healthy and happy. And if you need to reach out for anything, in our resource page, you'll see that there's contact lists for the wellness team. And I look forward to seeing you soon.